YouTube, it's Darling Craftolate here with another video. Yay! Today on Clayin with Raven Wednesdays, I'm going to try to make my very first tutorial, which is an ocean inspired ring holder. First, I'm going to go over the supplies that I used to create this ring holder. You're going to need some clay. These are the colors and brands I used when creating my ring holder. I also grabbed a pen lid, and you're going to need some scissors. These are just my kitchen scissors. You're going to need a variety of different blades and ball tools, a toothpick, and a rolling pin. To clean your hands in between changing colors, you're also going to probably want some baby wipes or some kind of wipes. You're going to also want to protect your surface that you're going to be working on. Optional, you might want to use some TLS to stick on all the items, but that is totally up to you. I didn't. You also want to have a glaze. I use triple thick gloss glaze, and you're going to also want a nice soft brush to apply the glaze as well. For step one, we're going to create the base of the ring holder or the sand portion, and so you want to use a sand colored clay. I'm using Fimo Soft and Sahara. So you're going to get it all conditioned and roll it into a flat ball, and you can use your rolling pin if you like to kind of make it flatter. You kind of also want something with a hard, pretty decent sized circle edge, because you're going to want to make it indent in the middle. You also want a kind of doming effect from the ground as well, and then you're going to create your little indent of a hole or circle, sorry. And there you are. And now you're going to want to do that a couple times to create kind of a little pit in the middle. And you're going to smooth out the outside, but don't worry about too much because it is sand. And then you're just going to make sure it's nice and smooth. Alright, for step two, you're going to need to get your pen lid. I just use a Bic lid because I'd seen some people bake it in the oven, so I know it's safe and it's not going to melt. And you're going to cut off that extra portion. And I use my kitchen scissors because they typically are a little bit tougher and they're easier to cut with. And you're going to take your pen lid and put it in the middle of the pit you created in the sand and secure it in there. You can use TLS if you wish. I choose not to because it's usually pretty secure. For step three, you're going to need your watercolored clay, and I'm going to use Fimo Soft and Peppermint. I just love this color, so this is the one I chose to use. And you're going to grab a decent sized chunk off it and roll it into a ball. And then you're going to flatten it. And you're basically going to just roll this out with the rolling pin. Now you're going to make sure it's not too thick before you decide to cut it. And you're going to cut it into a rectangle shape to fit around the pen all the way around, to cover it up, because that's where our rings are going to go. So here I have it cut, and now you just want to smooth it up and cover the top. If you want, you can use extra clay. I choose not to because I want my rings to be able to fit onto the ring holder. For step four, you're going to want the colors you're going to use for your underwater plant life. I chose to use Sculpey III in just orange, and then I also chose to use Primo by Sculpey in cadmium. I can't say that, red hue. So then you're going to grab a chunk off of each. And I also like to create a variety of different colors. So I'm going to take a little bit of each of the colors and mix them as well. So then I have these 3 balls of the colors. They're all conditioned, and I'm ready to move on to the next step. I'm going to take a portion of those and I'm going to roll it into a long snake. Now I have 3 snakes, 3 long rolls of each color, and I'm going to cut them into little strips for different color seaweed or plant life at the bottom of the ocean. And then I'm going to make them swiggle like they're floating in water just by picking up my little round piece of clay and curving it to make a little swiggle here. And then I'm going to roll them all flat with my rolling pin. So they're going to lay on the water part of the ring holder very well. You want that part to be flat as you can, or if you have larger rings, it's fine. But because I have quite small fingers, I want to make sure that my ring's still going to fit on there. For step 5, you're going to want any color you want to use for rocks at the bottom. I use Sculpey III in silver, and I also use some Fimo Effect in glitter white. So then I'm going to take each of the colors, and again, I want to create a variety of different colored rocks, but still in the same family. So I'm going to take a little bit of each and roll them up as well. And then these rocks are going to go around the base and in the little pit that we created earlier. So these are all my different colored rocks. I have all 3, and I did a variety of different shapes, and I'm just going to stick them in the base here of the ring holder. So this is what it looks like after I'm done. And I kind of had all the rocks in the middle there, and they're kind of fanning out in sort of a random way, I suppose. Step 6 is optional, and it's basically making anything else you want to be at the bottom of your ocean. I'm choosing to make some shells with some pearls, so I'm going to use some Sculpey III and Ballerina. And I'm going to make the inside of the shells first. So first I'm going to need to create 4 flat circles. And I'm just going to cut off the bottom here with my blade. And I'm going to reshape it a little bit, just give it softer edges. And then I'm going to take a ball tool, and I'm just going to create a dent in the middle, leaving a little bit of an edge. And again, these are the inside of the shell, so I'm just going to continue doing that to all 4 of them. And then this is what your results should be after you're done all of them. And so you have the inside of the shells. Now we're going to want to make the outside of the shells, which to me is the prettier part. You're going to need your toothpick, and you're going to pick up your shell and turn it around, and you're going to make indents. And you can space these out. You can put how many in you want or as few. Can't really see because it's such a light clay color. I'm going to try to get a better view for you guys and sort of see the indents I made here. So it looks like a really pretty shell. So I'm going to place them on here. I chose to have one wide open, one partly open. Now time for step 7, which is adding the bubbles and or the pearls for the shells. So I'm going to use Sculpey III and Translucent for this part. And I'm just going to create the bubbles and the pearls for the shells. So I'm going to take my clay and I'm going to condition it. And I created 3 flat circles for the bubbles. And I created 2 different sizes of pearls for my shells. And then you're just going to place them in where you want them. So you can put as many or few bubbles here, or you can skip the bubbles. And I put the pearls in my shells. Step 8 is also optional. I'm going to create some more plant life. So I'm going to use some Sculpey III and Emerald. And I'm also going to use some of the other colors of clay that I didn't totally use up earlier. And I'm going to roll them into snakes and also flatten them right away here. I'm not going to shape them. I'm just going to clip off a little bit of each color here and just stick them together so they kind of look like a little bunch of, I guess, seaweed or whatever you want to call it at the bottom of the ocean. And then you're just going to, after you can get together, really hard to do is sew little pieces, and you're going to put it onto your ring holder. You can put it between rocks, or you can put them on the edge. And you can just continue to do that until you might have something that looks like this. You can put as many as you want or as few as you want. Don't even have to use the emerald green. You can just use the other colors that you used on the blue water portion. Step 9 is again optional if you wish to. You can take your ball tool or a toothpick or anything like that, and you're just going to texture the sand to give it a little bit more of a realistic effect. You can texture anything on here if you wish. That's just the only item I choose to really give a lot of details to. And then step 10, of course, is you're going to bake. I bake at 260 degrees just because I have a variety of different colors of clay, and I don't want the pen lid to melt. And I'm going to bake that between 20 and 30 minutes. Step 11 is very important. You want to put some sort of glaze on your piece, and that's just going to make it more durable. I'm going to have this ring holder in my bathroom for when I shower. I can take off my jewelry, so I'm going to really want to put a heavy glaze on this. And you want the rings to go on smoothly, so you can do 1 to 2 coats of that. After your piece is dry, you're going to get your final result, and mine looks like this. And I think it turned out really good. I think it's super pretty, and it I totally captured the vision I wanted. And it fits my ring on there nicely. So these are some other ones I made. I made this one prior to making the water one, and this is just a spring inspired one, and I think it turned out really cute. I attempted to make my own cane slices, and I put them on the stem here of the ring holder, and I think it turned out gorgeous. And I also made a Mamagoma one. This is the very first one I made. I actually made it last week, and I use this to put my ring on whenever I'm crafting. So I really like my Mamagoma one. Don't forget to check out my website for all my channel information and other goodies. Thank you so much for joining me in my very first tutorial. I hope I did an okay job at explaining everything. If there's any tutorials you would like me to try to make, please let me know and I will try my best. And thank you so much to all my subscribers. I just love you guys. You have no idea. I have so much fun making the videos for you and everything. If you haven't already, please rate, comment, and subscribe. I'd appreciate all the support you guys can give me. And I will see you guys on Saturday for Shouting with Raven.